Today we are comparing the new Ping G440 Max driver against the Ping G440 LST. So two of the new G440 range, and really just looking at some of the key differences. So if you are in the market, you like the Ping drivers, the Ping brand, you're not too sure which one to decide on, today's video will definitely help. Okay, so the Max driver is generally designed for more forgiveness, a little bit more accuracy, generally bigger footprint. The LST driver is low spin technology, so it's all about trying to reduce the flight. If you're somebody that hits it high, or maybe you've got quite a quick club head speed, you want to bring that spin down, that's what it's for. So let's get stuck into it, kind of get a feel for the numbers. Is the spin actually any different with these two? Hopefully it will be. The tech's quite similar, so they've got this new thinner face in the face, trying to increase the ball speed. We know how good Ping generally are for forgiveness, but they are trying to increase the distance, and we are seeing that some of the early testing, some of the early fittings, definitely getting a bit more distance. Okay, so let's kick off with this ever successful Max driver. And what we get with Ping is we get consistency, don't we? So if you're somebody that's bought a Ping driver over the last few years, you're going to see quite a similar pattern. You know, we've seen these turbulators for a good few years now, haven't we? For me, not particularly pleasing on the eye, but I think when you get used to it, you just kind of, it becomes the norm. They've got carbon crown as well now in both heads. Remember, it was just the LST, wasn't it? But now they've got both heads. As I said, this thinner face. They've got the adjustable weight as well, so this weight port at the back, which to me looks quite small, but it does work. You know, we have seen in testing you can make it draw, fade, neutral. We'll keep it set at neutral for both. We've got the same shaft, and we're going to be using the same loft as well. So 10.5, and then we're going to loft the 9.5 up to the 9 up to 10.5. So let's start with this Max driver. Yeah, felt good. Straight off the bat there, felt nice, really solid, pretty straight. Exactly what we would expect from this Ping driver. And really, again, as you're watching this, just think about your own game. You know, what's most important to you? Do you need more spin, less spin, more forgiveness? Yeah, feels nice. Yeah, some decent numbers there, 273. Not the longest, but pretty straight. Good spin, yeah. 2,800 is good. 1 foot 3 inches offline. We like that one. That's the fairway finder. Bit off the bottom, but again, still pretty straight. You know, we do find that with this driver, you know, the off-center hits still, you know, so reliable in terms of hitting fairways. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, like it. Decent ball speed, you know, swinging at 105 there today. Ball speed's not bad at all. Again, straight. That's the key thing, isn't it? In terms of spin number, I would say about that high 2000s, pretty optimal. It can vary player to player, depending on your launch, depending on your club head speed. Bit left, to be fair, 73 feet, what's that, about 25 yards offline. Probably not the end of the world on most courses. Okay, just try one more. See, that was interesting because it actually felt like a good hit, but the spin just climbed there, didn't it? 3,600. So I guess that's the thing you've got to be careful of. If you're spinning it too much, distance is going to fall off a cliff, isn't it? So that's, again, but it is straight. So it's trying to really work out what is best for your game. Okay, so into this G440 LST low spin technology. So before we get into that, if you would like a free swing analysis, simply follow me on Skillest. The link is in the description down below. You will get a full analysis of your swing, along with me demonstrating exactly what you need to work on, including some drills to help you reach your goals this year. Back to the video. Okay, so into this G440 LST low spin technology. So to give you an idea there, the Max was spinning at about 3,000. So we're going to keep an eye on the spin, but we would expect the spin to come down a touch. You can see a slightly different shape of the head as well. It's definitely more of a pear shape. You find these low spin drivers, they're trying to sort of push that CG closer to the face to bring that sort of spin down. And in the Max, essentially trying to sort of stretch it out a bit. So moving that CG around, you know, will influence the spin. So far, I would say testing's been good, in particular with the quicker club head speeds. You know, you find the quicker speeds generally spin it a bit more, so this has been very good for that. Okay, so let's get into it. I think looks-wise, I definitely prefer the look of this head, just because of that shape. It just looks a bit more compact, which I prefer. But straight away there, just pulled it a little bit. Actually, it was a bit offline, wasn't it? You know, 93 feet, 30 yards, probably a little bit too far offline. I have found that in this LST range of Pings over the last few years, that I had the G440 LST, and it was a bit unforgiving, to be honest. But the last couple of models have been much more forgiving. Oh yeah, that felt good. That felt great. Bit more ball speed, 154. Spin came down there, 2.6. So yeah, very good. And you can see there the distance obviously has jumped up there because the spin was better for me. Ping have done a great job as well over the last couple of years in improving the sound. You know, it might not be important to all of you, but certainly a couple of models ago, the G425 was really loud and a bit unpleasant really. Now they've got it really kind of dialed in now, and yeah, it's a lot better. Nice kind of crunching noise. Oh yeah, good again. Spin was interestingly 3000 there, but it felt really nice and very straight as well. Again, exactly the same plane loft, this 10.5, same shaft. Pulled it. But again, that's really pleasantly surprised me. That felt like it was going a long way left, but actually didn't. For me, I feel like in previous models, that was going further left. Yeah, good. Nice little fade, good spin. 275 down the middle, we'll take that all day. Okay, let's just hit one more. Good again. Felt great. Yeah, quite an interesting test that. The LST really surprised me. The Max, we know how good a driver that range is. The LST surprised me. It felt a bit more ball speed and was a lot straighter than I was expecting. And for me, the spin felt like it was a touch lower, but let's initially look at the dispersion. Okay, so dispersion's pretty much the same, isn't it? And that's good, because I think historically you would have seen the Max really tight and the LST are kind of a bit more all over the place. So I think that's a good job from Ping, where they're really improving that tech to improve the forgiveness of that LST. And now sort of just diving into the numbers, and this is quite interesting, I would say. So again, this is for my swing, remember, think about your own game. Club speed almost identical, 104, 105. More ball speed off the LST, and it felt like, you know, it did feel like it was coming out a bit hotter. 153.8 miles an hour with the LST to 152.1, so a good bit quicker, nearly 2 miles an hour quicker. Launch was similar, again, the loft was the same, but the spin is lower, as we expect. So 2,742 with the LST, 3,026. So yeah, you're looking at, what's that, about 300 revs lower, so it is making a difference. And then that for me is impacting my carry, so, and the total. So 258 for 277 with the LST, 251 for 268 with the Max. So yeah, 8.5, 9 yards longer with the Max. So with the LST. In summary, LST obviously lower spinning and longer for me. Dispersion was actually quite similar, but you can't rule out the Max as well, because we know how forgiving that is. We know how accurate it is.